Hey everybody, I want to Wiisdom here. Welcome back to yet another Skylanders Imaginators introduction. Sticking with our Halloween Undead Dark themes we've got going, or we will have going by the time you see the videos. We're going to go ahead and introduce one of my most anticipated Skylanders ever, in part, because when I was there at E3 for Trap Team, the big push was, of course, Pinata. Everyone was, oh, look at Pinata, isn't he cool? And I was like, yeah, he's okay, but what about that Wolfgang guy? You know, he looks a little cooler to me. And that said, the Pinata figure from the images I've seen looks pretty awesome. Nonetheless, though, Wolfgang, that was my big deal. I was there, I'd been to E3 before, and I knew to go to the Nintendo section to get a lot of playtime, and sort of like less of a crowd, if you will. And so Paul and I headed over that direction. It was his first one, and I was like, dude, I figured out last year the Nintendo section doesn't have as much traffic. That was my preferred console anyway. And went over that direction. And one of the things, you know, and it kind of, I think it hit him the same way, but it was like, okay, you know, the whole trapping thing is great, but it sucks not having a figure for these characters. You know, like, yeah, Pinata's okay, you know, but I would really rather pay, you know, $9 towards his figure. You know, it could cost as much as a light core or whatever, but what about the, you know, why not get figures for these villains, you know? What's up with this little trap? And I have to think that in the back of their mind, they were probably, you know, heading in this direction at that time, but as a fan, it's like, man, you know, because the concept is great, I'll give Trap Team that, but it really sucked to me having to purchase traps to house the characters when I really just wanted physical toy forms of the villains, just like I'd wanted Chaos figures. That's why Imaginators, I know the selling point. I've got this little cinnamon mint in my mouth that keeps bouncing around. It's the one that I always choke on, the Icebreakers ones. It's a long story there. Anyway, what it kind of came down to for me, with Imaginators, you know, like the big selling point is create your own Skylander. And yeah, that's awesome, that's great fun. But as someone that's played the game since its inception in SSA, even people that have played probably just since SWAT Force or Trap Team, particular Trap Team, if you really enjoyed that game, this is sort of the culmination of everything we've waited for, is figures for the villains, Chaos, the Doom Raiders, Golden Queen, Wolfgang, etc. That's why a lot of people were so sad with the selection, you know, like when they pick out who's going to be, you know, the reformed villains. We'll just use Chef Pepperjack. He has a bit of a following. Nothing against Taekwon Crow, but he did switch elements, you know. But there's people that were Pepperjack fans that are legitimately upset. Dreamcatcher had a huge following. Now, to the credit there, I think it would be very hard to make like a figure that would do justice to Dreamcatcher. And I think all of that factored in, but like the bottom line I'm getting at is the villains, the Doom Raiders, have, you know, the same huge followings and legions of fans that your Terrafins, Camos, Warnados do. And with Imaginators, while it may be Creation Crystal this and that, and Creator App and everything, for myself and many others, one of the biggest deals is simply in my hand is Wolfgang. And that's awesome. So, I've had more people comment on like they don't really like his, it's not necessarily the pose, it's like the facial, you know, which if you've ever shot a bow and arrow, you have to do that. It's like when you look down the barrel of a gun. But if you have the dark version side by side, which I will be releasing those videos as well, it does look better, and it's in part the color scheme changes, and so the eyebrow becomes less of an issue. But that's a story for our comparison video. But this is a big moment for me. I have wanted this since I learned of Wolfgang in Trap Team. 2 games later, here we are at Imaginators. Wolfgang is going on the portal.
Let there be rock.
He looks so much better in game. I've got to say it. I know many of you are thinking the same thing.
Ready to rock, Portal Master? Good. Now let's turn the volume up on your Imaginators.
Oh yeah. Even in that inset right there, he's got the same squint going on, but the top eyebrow isn't as prominent. It's not like that black line, you know? And it makes a world of difference. But when you see his idle animations, his introductions, him on the stat screen that we're probably about to look at, I mean, I realize it is a critique with the figure, but Wolfgang is epic. He has been, he shall remain. So, here we go.
And here's a little secret technique, Diddy, I wrote just for the Bowslingers.
Oh, sweet lob shot. And that is another big thing with Wolfgang. This is, and at the time of me making this, Wolfgang and Dark Wolfgang, I believe, are our only Bowslingers. So, most characters, we got, Taekwon, Crow, and Starcast, and Ninjas. I think Aurora is our only swashbuckler right now, too. But, we've got several Sorcerers and Smashers and Sentinels and whatever. Ambush, I believe, is our only Knight at this point in time. But pretty cool, because for us, here in our introduction series, it's our first Bowslinger. So, alright. Let's just take a look at this. Entertain us, Wolfgang. Okay. Had an itch. Come on. Is that it? That all we get idle animation was? Come on now. I thought he would like break down and jam for us. That works. Tune the harp. Okay, so we've gotten a taste of that. I've got to sit back in my squeaky chair. Just took a knee to the chair. But I've been having that glitch happen. That's why I couldn't record more last night. I seem to be able to do 2 videos and then it all just goes to nightmare mode with pixels coming through. That said, health, as you would expect with an undead character, not necessarily the highest thing in the world. We're sitting at not 2,300, I just typed an extra 0 there. 230. Speed is impressive here, but keep in mind, at the map, everyone pretty much moves at the same speed, so I'm dying to do it. I'm dying to press his attack buttons, but I'm going to hold off.
What I do is art and cannot be quantified by stats. Although these do look pretty good, don't they?
Alright, he looks really good there again. You should see the same idle animations. Kind of picking something out of his teeth there. But note, he is not... Ooh, that's a nice detail on the chain bracelet there. He is not squinting here. You can fully appreciate the wolfiness. And of course, as a werewolf type of a character, he's overly exaggerated upper body and torso, etc., kind of the hunchback. But let us take a look at his stats as we log them. Attack, 8. Armor, 6. Speed, 15. So he should be fairly quick. Luck, only 4. So, it's going to be interesting. What I am the most excited about now, aside from Wolfgang himself, next introduction will be Dark Wolfgang. I get to see 2 things. Number 1, do the stats or health change? And tying in with that, of course, attack damage is the same or different. Legendaries, we had improved stats, improved attack damage. Alt Deco with Candy Coated Chopscotch, we had exact same numbers across the board between the 2 versions of the character. So, a little bit of an unknown right now. That said, let's go ahead here. This video would have been a lot quicker if we didn't do like that whole 5-minute introduction thing. That said, his slogan, if you did not know, is "Let there be rock." I'll go ahead and play that for you now.
Let there be rock.
Did you even... The "ah-woo" is not...
Let there be rock. Oh.
There you go. I believe that is the same voice actor. Seems like a pretty cool dude. That said, in-game, now this is crazy. In-game, well, not in-game, but on the website, the stats, which we don't get cards anymore. Power 210 of 350. Armor 180 of 350. Agility 310 of 350. Luck 80 of 350. So, kind of a sad bio here. Wolfgang wasn't always a werewolf. For those of you that said, he's not a werewolf when I first started this, suck on that. He was once a handsome, brilliant musician set to marry a beautiful princess. Before the wedding, he planned to unveil his ultimate symphony to all the greatest music aficionados in Skylands, convinced they would love it and instantly hail him as the best composer ever. But they didn't. They hated it, and even worse, it actually hurt to listen to. He had unintentionally discovered the musical note for pain. Being shunned like this drove Wolfgang utterly and completely mad, physically transforming him into the werewolf he is today. With the princess no longer wanting to marry him, he turned to a life of crime, terrorizing the royal subjects and using his evil music as a weapon. The Golden Queen took note of this and realized that Wolfgang could make a powerful ally if she could control his rage and keep him in line. But when they were both captured by the Trapmasters, Jan gave these two supervillains a choice. Note how he's kind of unique in that he is viewed, in this bio and thus in the game and the lore of Skylands as equal to the Golden Queen, sort of like her, top aide, if you will. I always stick to my guns. If Wolfgang ran the Doom Raiders, they wouldn't have been captured. That's another story, isn't it? That said, Eon gave these two supervillains a choice. Either go back to a newly reformed Cloudcracker prison, or become Skylander senseis teaching a new generation of Imaginators their formidable battle skills, as well as how to stay clear of a life of crime. They accepted the deal, but first had to prove themselves by rearranging all the books in the Academy's library, a task which took almost 2 years, almost driving Wolfgang mad again. But he got through it and realized he could earn even more respect as a sensei training the Bowslinger class than he ever could as a musician. And I've got to say, while he was probably hanging out redoing the books in the library, should any sheep come in, Hugo, no doubt, would turn to Wolfgang for help there, wouldn't you think? That's it. Here we go. This is the moment of truth. This is what I have been waiting for. It's time to check out his upgrade tree. Alright, we're going to get started as you would expect with the Bowslinger. I'm going to go ahead and type these in, the first few, onto my spreadsheet. Strike a chord. Press X to shoot musical arrows at enemies. Moving forward, the knee slide. Actually, we'll have our jump attack, and then knee slide. It survived. I'm excited about that. Press B to knock your enemies back with a knee slide. Should do damage, but the knockback is a nice touch. Is this going to be tertiary? Yes. Songs of the Underworld. Press Y to summon speakers so loud they'll blast your enemies away. That's going to be pretty sweet. Kind of remember that from the B-roll. After that, ultrasonic supercharge. Hold X to shoot a supercharged ultrasonic arrow. So we get a nice little hold attack off the primary. Now in stereo, Songs of the Underworld, which is our tertiary, can now make one more set of speakers and last longer. Very cool. And lastly, you got Power Chord. Blast enemies around you with your notes at the end of a knee slide. So that's just kind of a nice, seems like a very well-balanced primary, secondary, tertiary. Each kind of get one upgrade, which is a nice way to approach it. 12, 9, 7, and 500 respectively. If you want these base upgrades, you will need 3,300 cash. Now, coming up top, lay some tracks. Knee slide now leaves music notes behind that will damage and slow enemies. Very much akin to the Undead element. You think of the lingering ghosts of cinder, things along those lines. Very nice touch. Song stuck in my head. Arrows make enemies take damage over time. That's pretty clever. And amp it up. Speakers shoot arrows when you do. Well, that's actually going to be pretty cool. So tertiary, tying in with the primary, and secondary. So this is actually a pretty balanced top path, I have to say. Not focusing on any sole, standalone upgrade. On the bottom path, we've got surround sound to create a musical barrier at the end of a knee slide that keeps enemies away. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got encore. Strike a chord, shoots multiple arrows while inside a musical barrier. So, strike a chord being the primary. So, basically, knee slide into this, and then do the primary, and it's going to be multiple arrows. Okay, setting up nicely here. Grand finale, blow up your speakers by exiting the musical barrier with a knee slide. So basically, this bottom path, where the top one kind of addresses all three, primary, secondary, and tertiary, you slide to create this. When you use your primary attack, you get multiple arrows with the encore. And then lastly, with the grand finale, if you exit the barrier with a knee slide, you blow them up. So that to me sounds like quite the dilemma, as if you're going to need two Wolfgangs, which is why it's so nice to go dark, get the dark edition. You've got standard Wolfgang, you've got dark Wolfgang. You can take one path with each character respectively. Awesome. Soul Gem right here, it can be found in the Sensei Undead realm. Now, I have come to a bit of an epiphany tonight. And here, dadgum, it would screw up the Soul Gem, though. I think, is Chopscotch a Soul Gem? Aha, it is. Suck it, game. Okay, so Chopscotch's Soul Gem is in Mushroom River, which is Chapter 2 or Level 2, whatever they're called this time around. That means if I upgrade Chopscotch and Candy Coated Chopscotch, I would have them ready, but I could go through Mushroom River perhaps with either Imaginators or old characters, castaways preferably. That's the way I like to roll. Elites even, who knows. I could go through there, I could get her Soul Gem. We could fully upgrade her, although her Sky Chi is in Scholarville. Freaking A. No. Hers is Sky Fortress. That's a long ways off, isn't it? Everything's a mess. That's a freaking game. Well, that's not going to work out. Anyway, what I come to the revelation, I thought, was that, okay, if I come in and I get the Chopscotches upgraded, I could go play them through the Undead Sensei realm, get Wolfgang's Soul Gem, and then we could fully upgrade him, like completely. And then it would work out well with Chopscotch too, because we'd have her Soul Gem. Historically, what I do around Halloween is we fully upgrade all of our Halloween characters and we go slaughter enemies with them. It's become a bit of a tradition. Where is... Well, anyway, Rock Concert is his Soul Gem, which again, you have to get from the Undead Sensei realm. I like it worded better that way. It just flows, in my opinion. That is going to be way over there off bottom ledge where you usually get surprise attacked. Press Y during a jump to please a crowd of enemies. That should be cool. With stunning music. I'm picturing things in my head. So now the real question, let me go ahead and pin this in. The Soul Gem is going to be Undead Sensei realm. I'm taking the liberty to word it without the misplaced modifier. And then right over here, Sky Chi is going to be in Shelmont Shores. Frickin' A, that's a long ways off, isn't it? Shrine in Shelmont. Why do all the levels begin with S's, it seems? Anyone else notice that? But it's Crowd Surfer. Hold right trigger to perform. Use left stick. I'm not sure what to imagine that as. I know what it would be in theory, but I don't know if we're knee sliding, if we're on the backs of little minions or moon goons, perhaps. I've so wanted to see the moon goons. And maybe they will appear here. But ultimately, what I'm getting at, I'm trying to figure out, if you don't know, maybe you're just tuning in for Wolfgang. If you don't know why I haven't progressed further in the game, I really, really want to. It's just a situation where after doing so, in Chapter 1, mainly use Golden Queen and Kingpin, blah, blah, blah. As the characters level up, their attack damage numbers change. That never used to happen. And their stats, attack, armor, speed, and luck, change. The biggest issue there is not so much, I do like to keep tabs on that stuff, but the attack damage changing is a massive deal. If I came in and played the snot out of Wolfgang, took him through a couple of battle arenas or something, and then he was level 12 when I upgrade him, and I come in and on Strike a Chord, I register it as doing 64 to 96 damage. You're like, oh wow, and then if I take him down a path and you're like, that damage is amazing, and you've got him at level 1 box stock, you do the money trick, he's going to be doing fractions of the damage. You're going to be like, what is the deal? The best time to do Skylanders research, you got two options really, box stock and fully upgraded. To me, box stock is the time to do it because it provides you a baseline, and then if you're so inclined to check things out again when you're fully upgraded, you can easily, or fully maxed out level wise, you can easily do that. You can never go back to the beginning without resetting your character, losing all of your levels, losing all of the money, and having to basically start from scratch. And when you're kind of on a time scale like me with a real job, and work and whatnot, you don't have all day to play Skylanders, and so that's all time. I've said many, many times that this YouTube stuff, it is not hard work. The people that say that, no. Playing video games, not hard work. Editing, not hard work. Time-consuming work, abso-freaking-lutely. You have no, especially if you don't have Primo, the time it takes me to edit and render on the hand-built computer I did is so much quicker than this old computer. It's not really even old. But like I said, it's just every little thing, piles up to slow me down because I don't sit at home and do this all day. I come in, and that's why I always do my videos like 2 in the morning. It's 10:30 p.m. right now, which is very early for me. But anyway, here we go. This is important. Strike a chord. This is the primary attack. Let's look at it first. It's a screen cleaner. Oh wow, he does just spam them. Very cool, very nimble while doing so. Let's log some numbers here. What are you hoping for? I'm hoping for 30s. I don't know that we're going to get it. I could see like a 24, perhaps. I could also see like a 16. I'm thinking 16, 24, 32. I'm going to hope it's a 30 to 45. Let's see. 32! Haha! Sweet. Critical on that's going to be 48. I will take it. And again, you can pretty much rapid these things off very quickly. Now, the big question for me is, does he have a jump attack? Like, will he actually slam the harp into the ground? And we're going to find out right now. Oh, no, he doesn't. That's a bit of a disappointment. That would have been a really cool attack. But for what it's worth, he does at least get to have the jump attack, which right now they're sailing over the heads of the dummies. I'm sure there's times where it could be helpful. Note that if I don't jump, we are actually landing the hit. So I thought for sure he would have a harp slam, so that is kind of disappointing, I have to say. Mainly because I was so excited for Wolfgang, not gonna lie. But jump attack, jump, and shoot. Knee slide though. Let's see what we got with it. Kind of like a 2-second dash. Oh, Flynn, we know. We know. I thought knee slide would do a bit more than that. That said, it should upgrade pretty nice between the base upgrades and the 2 paths. So 14 and 21, the question I'm trying to figure out isn't that. It's, can we get more than 1 hit of damage? We got 3 that time. I'm thinking 3 will be the max because I pretty well pinned him into the corner there, keeping all of the impact on the dummy. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was 4, wasn't it? Okay, yes, so you could potentially have 4. That's what we needed to know. So, knee slide 14 to 21. Max of 4 times. So what I mean by that, if you're at point blank range, you're in a corner, something akin to this, and we do the knee slide, you can click off 4 rounds of damage. Most cases you're going to be coming up on enemies and you're going to slide into them. So something like that, you do 2, 3, whatever it may be. If you start way back here, maybe just 1. We've still got 3 actually. Even from there we got 3. Let's start the slide here and see if we can at least get 1. Nope. Let's start here. 2. So again, it's going to be like a distance spatial relationship type of a thing. That said, I will not forget to do it. We're going to come up here and hopefully not get surprise attacked. Should we do it? Let's go after this guy. If he leads me into a surprise attack. I found you can just leave the area. Aha. We are rewarded.
New swashbuckler tacit.
Air that's kind of cool. Alright, anyway, let's get out of here. Come up this direction. You can get a decent amount of cash. I mentioned this before, just roaming around the map. You can get like 1,000 plus each cycle. So if you get bored, that's what you can do. Or if you just need that much or somewhere around there. However, this is our gift from Wolfgang. Let's see what we get.
New legs.
Oh yeah, Wolfgang legs, straight up, just like the man, the myth, the legend. We can now use those for our Imaginators. And again, like I said, just break these sorts of bushes here. You can do quite well for yourself, I must say. Can we get all the bushes? You bet. Let's go ahead and chase this guy. My bet, he takes us to money or he takes us to the battle. I'm thinking the battle. I was correct. It's sad when you've done this enough, you can predict it. Why did I not kill any of them? I don't dare level up to 1. we'd have to reset him, which, truth be told, right now, that wouldn't be terrible. He's only got 86 coins and no progress. But let's come in here real quick like and see what his speed is like. Because, again, at the map, everyone sort of got, you know, buffed speeds, you know. I'm seriously debating going through there. I don't know if we're going to get Chop Chop and Ghost Roaster out or something. I'd like to do it tonight, possibly, so I'd have, or sometime this weekend, so we have a soul gem, essentially. So this is his real speed, if you will. This is the speed he's going to go in the game, IRL, if you will. If you load up Chapter 1, you put him in a battle arena, this is what you're dealing with. I think he's actually fairly quick, it's just he's so bulky. Unlike Chopscotch, who's so short and her legs move so rapidly, it looks like she's moving faster than she is. I think due to his girth, it looks like he's moving slower than he really is. That said, Chopscotch and Wolfgang, for example, speed for each of them is 15, so they're the exact same speed. It's just the animation and the scaling that sort of throw you off. Since we're here, though, dun, 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 dun. Doesn't really stun or knock back, but it works quite well. Again, note, I can pin him in the corner, I can do circles. That's pretty cool, like, you can slide straight forward like that, or check it out, I can do like a 360, which is kind of neat. But, yeah, that is Wolfgang. He is an undead element Bowslinger. He is a reformed Doom Raider. He's who, in my opinion, should have been running the Doom Raiders all along. Him or Pepperjack? I think Pepperjack would have been good at that. But, that said, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on Wolfgang. Again, be sure to check out his unboxing. We're going to do a compare and contrast between him and Dark Wolfgang, as I promised you in the Nintendo Wii U Dark Edition unboxing. That said, I'm going to do it. We're going to stop this video, we're going to introduce Dark Wolfgang, and we're going to see if there is a statistical difference between the two, and if so, in what degree. Will there be pros? Will there be cons? Will there be increased attack damage like we saw with the Legendary, or will those types of benefits and perks be limited, in fact, to the Legendary versions only? We're about to find out what we have in store for us with the Dark Edition Skylanders. So, hope you enjoyed. OneOfWiisdom.com, SkylanderClub.com. Tons of polls there. Check them out. We're going to get some Wolfgang versus Dark Wolfgang poll action going real soon. By the time you see this video, it should be there. SkylanderClub.com. Click on the polls section. Anyone can vote. You do not have to be registered, so take advantage of that. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Beam. That's kind of a up-and-coming stream site, which I kind of like, particularly since Twitch doesn't seem to want to work for me here lately. Be one of the first few to follow me there. That said, I'm going to quit rambling. I hope you enjoyed. We'll be right back as we introduce Dark Wolfgang, so stay tuned for that.